Jehoshaphat and Ahab by Louis Ginzberg. The successors of Omri and Asa, each in his way, were worthy of their fathers. Jehoshaphat, the son of Asa, was very wealthy. The treasures which his father had sent to the Aramean ruler reverted to him in consequence of his victory over the Ammonites, themselves the conquerors of the Arameans, whom they had despoiled of their possessions. 25. His power was exceedingly great. Each division of his army counted no less than 160,000 warriors. 26. Yet rich and powerful as he was so modest that he refused to don his royal apparel when he went to the house of the prophet Elisha to consult him. He appeared before him in the attire of one of the people. 27. Unlike his father, who had little consideration for scholars, Jehoshaphat was particularly gracious toward them. When a scholar appeared before him, he arose, hastened to meet him, and kissing and embracing him, greeted him with Rabbi, Rabbi. 28. Jehoshaphat concerned himself greatly about the purity and sanctification of the temple. He was the author of the ordinance forbidding anyone to ascend the temple mount, whose term of uncleanness had not expired, even though he had taken the ritual bath. 29. His implicit trust in God made him a complete contrast to his skeptical father. He turned to God and implored his help when to human reason help seemed an utter impossibility. In the war with the Arameans, an enemy held his sword at Jehoshaphat's very throat, ready to deal the fatal blow, but the king entreated help of God, and it was granted. 30. In power and wealth, Ahab, king of Samaria, outstripped his friend Jehoshaphat, for Ahab is one of that small number of kings who have ruled over the whole world. 31. No less than 252 kingdoms acknowledged his dominion. 32. As for his wealth, it was so abundant that each of his 140 children possessed several ivory palaces, summer and winter residences. 33. But what gives Ahab his prominence among the Jewish kings is neither his power nor his wealth, but his sinful conduct. For him, the gravest transgressions committed by Jeroboam were slight peccadilloes. At his order, the gates of Samaria bore the inscription, Ahab denies the God of Israel. He was so devoted to idolatry, to which he was led astray by his wife Jezebel, that the fields of Palestine were full of idols. But he was not wholly wicked. He possessed some good qualities. He was liberal toward scholars, and he showed great reverence for the Torah, which he studied zealously. When Ben-Hadad exacted all he possessed, his wealth, his wives, his children, he acceded to his demands regarding everything except the Torah, that he refused peremptorily to surrender. 34. In the war that followed between himself and the Syrians, he was so indignant at the presumptuousness of the Aramean upstart that he himself saddled his warhorse for the battle. His zeal was rewarded by God. He gained a brilliant victory in a battle in which no less than 100,000 of the Syrians were slain, as the prophet Micaiah had foretold to him. 35. The same seer, 36, admonished him not to deal gently with Ben-Hadad. God's word to him had been, Know that I had to set many a pitfall and trap to deliver him into thy hand. If thou lettest him escape, thy life will be forfeit for his. 37. Nevertheless, the disastrous end of Ahab is not to be ascribed to his disregard of the prophet's warning, for he finally liberated Ben-Hadad, but chiefly to the murder of his kinsman Naboth, whose execution on the charge of treason he had ordered, so that he might put himself in possession of Naboth's wealth. The mourning for Ahab was so great that the memory of it reached posterity.